Hello, everyone. Just leaving a workout, and I had to wanted to take a moment and have this conversation. Well, it's not a conversation; it's one way, but for you to listen, because there are some things that I'm hearing over and over again, some narratives that we continue to promote in the tech space that are dangerous. Not only dangerous to have these beliefs, but to promote these beliefs, and they're harming people. And they need to stop. So let me start by saying we have to, and it's happening when we call individuals out. One of the first things I hear, and the most prevalent thing I'll hear is, this individual has this. This individual does this. They're either on the autism spectrum, or they have social anxiety disorders, or there's some other neurotypical functioning that people want to bring up as an example of why you shouldn't call these people out or whatever. And I want to stop you, because we need to really stop this. I am a certified special needs teacher. I have worked with learners of every age and damn near every ability. I can tell you, honestly, I have not worked with the moderately or severely profound intellectually disabled individuals, but definitely I've worked with and had in my classrooms and in programs that I've done. I've worked with people on the autism spectrum, from very severe to more what people would consider normal functioning behavior. So when I say very severe, I'm talking about people, individuals who can only focus on their routine. They're non-audible. They can't talk. They're blind. I've worked with all individuals, as well as those individuals who, if it weren't for certain behaviors, you wouldn't even know they were on autism spectrum. I've also worked with people with social anxiety disorders. When we attribute or excuse poor, harmful behavior because of these disorders, we not only malign the whole community of people who may be challenged with these I don't even want to call them disorders. They're just how their brains function. We minimize the struggles that many of them go through to make sure that they're not causing harm. And we become very flippant, and we dismiss them. This is a great way to discriminate against people, because if everybody thinks that people on the autism spectrum is going to go ham or just go, are going to be unpredictable, why would we hire them? That is not true. Unless you've been diagnosed as an adult, every person on the spectrum who has gone through any public school system and definitely private, you have a IEP, which is a program, a process that is put in place when you get diagnosed in the school system, that builds on your strengths, helps you build your social skills. It's a very clear plan. It's a plan that your parents know about, they agree with, your school knows about, your teacher knows about, you know about, because as you get older, you become your own advocate in what you need to do and how you to build the skills you need to function safely in the real world. And it pisses me, it really does piss me off when we just blatantly and flippantly say, oh, that person's on the autism spectrum, they can't do better. Yes, they can, because so there was this article that came out that was circulating in the No community back in 2017, where this one guy was trying to go against code of conduct by saying, if a person with autism went to Harvard and he broke one of their rules, it wouldn't be fair for them to kick him out. Yes, it would be fair. And I'm going to tell you why it would be fair. Because, again, as I said, very few people would end up in Harvard who did not know that they were on the autism spectrum. And even if they were to find out they were on the autism spectrum as an adult, Harvard has, like all schools, have departments that help with that. And so what this young person would have done, if it's the typical route of you've known since you were in school, since K through 12, wherever that is, you would advise, there will be a conversation between you and the school about how to best service you so that you're safe and that others are safe. And if that's not an environment for you, you would not be at Harvard University, as is just in any other public school. If being in a general ed population, and I hate that they use that term, but that's what the term they use. If you were a special needs student and being in a general ed population would cause you harm or the general ed population harm, you would not be in that population. So I hate that. Stop using this as an excuse for people to be shitty, because people on the autism spectrum and neurodiverse and social anxiety disorder work very hard to make sure that they are learning about social cues, so that are learning about how to function so that they're safe. And that's what people don't understand. It's about their safety first. And so to attribute someone who has their feelings hurt because they can no longer do something in tech that they're used to doing to something, make that an equivalent to somebody who has a diagnosed, I don't want to say disorder, a diagnosed, they call them disorders. I just don't like that term because it's so negative. It's cruel. I just think that's cruel, and we really need to stop doing that. I don't doubt that there are people, tons of people in tech who have social anxiety disorders. And yet, as adults, it is our responsibility to deal with our own feelings and emotions and actions. We're responsible for those. If we find ourselves in situations, and I'm not talking about toxic environments, I'm not talking about that thing, but as an individual, if I know that I have social anxiety disorder, I will make sure it is my responsibility as an adult to make sure I get the help, the support, and the services I need so that I can live in the world as I want to live in the world. And that's different from everybody else. And so I wanted to bring this up because I'm just really sick of people maligning people on the autism spectrum as if every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every dude who gets called out, oh, they're awkward with people. Well, you know what? I don't care. Learn the skills or not be around people. Find a place that you don't have to be around people if you're not going to learn the skills. Because there are people who are actually doing the work with diagnosed disorders, who are making strides, who are working really hard, and you just don't get a pass by saying, oh, he's awkward or she's awkward. No, that's not how adults work this is not how communities are built. This is not how safety and trust is built. And you need to stop using this piss poor behavior to explain away people's behavior, and then you're maligning and disparaging a population of people who are really already marginalized in our communities. Really need to stop doing that because it causes harm. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because we really needed to. I just wanted to have that conversation because people, particularly people on the autism spectrum, are because those are the students I worked with, I have an affinity for making sure that they succeed in tech. And I don't like people throwing up barriers because Jimmy can't handle the fact that there are some behaviors and things that he used to do in tech that he can no longer do, and now he's sensitive, and because this person doesn't, he's just awkward. Well, Jimmy needs to figure out how to do that, or he needs to find a place in tech that does not does not put him in contact with people. And I'm saying this because there's so many of these individuals who speak at conferences, who do all these things, so they put themselves out there in front of people, but yet they can't work with people. Then you need to stop doing that, because you don't get to harm people just because you don't have the skills. Get the skills. So that's what I had to say. Have a great day. Goodbye.